That Mark's class that he's taking won't. So they won't be big on the honeymoon if they did.
Just realized they're getting married on the date that we originally, well, see, our anniversary is February.
Yeah, that weekend, I can't remember if it was the 18th or the 19th was the other option.
Was it? We had to move our because I had a cousin in New York who was getting married. My grandmother.
Give what away? Junior side. Oh, full table? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you getting pretty good over there? Are you getting more?
Yeah.
Well, my
Every once in a while I get one around here.
maybe if I just have a nest on that. You think that would be all right?
Oh,
Just hit it hard enough so that if some ball hits this.
Call it off the table.
Jan's daughter,
Right there.
Susan, is giving.
That's what I thought.
It's okay.
Wrong one.
They don't have a shot to get it out of there.
Grant.
What did I do wrong?
They need
Oh, you want to do that? Well, I don't know, but get it out of there. Don't want it.
Actually, we have no idea.
Just about all the way.
Tennis player.
Yeah, one part.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Europe. She's on that team.
Where they get that strike from. All right.
It's kind of.
Oh, good. Congrats. Oh,
Now, then the other dog get
well.
Stan?
And then they have one in the
And Doug, that's right, I'm sorry.
well, did you have to come with this, Jan?
No, not till I got here.
Oh,
Grant's supposed to be here,
well, that's what they do.
but the girls aren't.
He's an extra.
We have to
This
decide
is
when.
Grant.
No, this is Susan's fiance.
Oh, Susan's fiance.
I didn't
Oh,
bring a picture of Grant because I thought he was going to be here.
Oh,
She's been in Korea. He's been coaching and finishing his master's at Emporia this year. So he's looking for a job in Lawrence area.
How did that fit?
Good. That's good. That looks good.
his main route.
Yeah, I can, and it. Doug, don't get turned up. Nice to see you.
Girls like that here.
Real surprise.
Yeah, how many?
You're standing.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it'd be so easy just to say, we'll see you Saturday night.
Yeah.
And you'd be home.
No. Anything about it. Last few days, they had talked about our area, except for they sure do. That's what
I haven't seen this one in a while.
Well, no, she's 8 months old now.
Thank goodness. This is Julia here.
Yeah. Julia Grace. Julia
here.
Grace.
Julia's here.
We have an Elizabeth, and then we have a Scott that's a grandson.
Oh. How are you doing? You want to say hi to Karen and Becky? She says, where am I?
They're pretty sweet, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you're going to be to the covered dish tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's nice. You know John, don't you? John
Yep.
Moore. Kevin, do you remember John Moore?
Yes.
He's married.
Is he really? Where's he living now?
At Beatrice, Nebraska, and we're having a shower for them tomorrow. Covered dish dinner.
Very
Because
nice.
The wedding was just. Looks okay. The wedding was just Saturday. The kids are really cute. I don't think they look alike.
We're going to give thanks for the meal now.
Blank look on my face.
And Keith, would you want to give thanks for supper?
Let's give thanks for the food. Our Father, we are thankful this evening for many things. We're thankful this family can be together, as many of us as are here, and we pray for those who cannot be here. We think especially of Karen and the Philippines, and Becky and Canada, Becky and Dave. We're just thankful that those that could be here are here, and we're thankful that this couple have stayed together for 40 years, and that this family is testimony to their faithfulness. We thank you now for this food. Bless it and guide us in Jesus' name. Put it back down.
That was Gordon's addition.
Trip line?
That's my favorite brother.
I say a week he irritated by the
Mine's gonna start right here. And you two people begin, and y'all are sitting here, everybody else.
trying to fight off the camera.
We stop and we charge you. Remember that?
Mine can.
Right?
I guess nobody else is mine.
Cheryl, it looks wonderful. This table is just, I can't believe it.
Yeah, the line's gonna start. That's fine, that's fudge.
Just the angle fudge.
No, that's the,
Cheryl, you're in front of the camera.
well, sweetie,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
It was a good idea that everybody parked on the street.
No, that's, Aunt Lois's fudge.
That really did fill up because it looked like this place was empty. Couldn't figure it. He said, once somebody comes, you meet somebody in here. It didn't look like there was a soul here. And even then, I didn't suspect it. Even at that point.
Now, you and your husband get to sit at the head table, and two lucky people get to sit with you, whoever gets there first.
Whoever gets it.
First thing he says, tell me you haven't had any. Sure. I said, I did. It's nice. It's so nice to do stuff.
Well, it was,
You know what? It's too loose. Hang on.
Here, lift it up. You need to just tighten it. You have a coin or something?
Kevin,
Sir?
would you mind aiming that somewhere else?
All right.
Yeah, I don't want any.
Bothers people when they're eating.
Well, they have
Okay.
a plate pile.
That's right. That's right.
He's gonna show that.
That's right. We're gonna send it to 2020.
Embarrass me.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, he's trying to save food, I think.
That's right.
yeah, it's not. Well, it's not. I mean, I didn't know. Yeah, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. It's not that I want to talk to you.
Battery, driving
That's
battery.
fine.
All the way down.
We'll get more done after Susan
Tim?
gets out of school.
So the end of the story is,
That's all right.
Yeah, take care.
Live next year. Yeah, we're good.
It's easy, but
You're duck. No, you're a duck, you're a horse, right? And I know, Danny. You don't get s'mores, you don't get s'mores.
Debbie, would you like to say hello to Becky and Karen?
Hi, Becky.
There you go. Good. Elizabeth, what's your news, Debbie?
It's, I'm gonna have to make a trip to the cotton mills, Becky.
Uh-huh. And what?
Dig up that ring. I don't know if it's still there.
What's the date, Debbie?
July the 10th.
July 10th. That's a great month. Kevin and Cheryl were married in July too.
Like Karen or Becky, when they were little.
Uh-huh. Oh, Julia here. Julia, are you going to have any cake?
Yeah, I can bring it back. It's at the table. If you don't like where it's
Straight punch or not?
well, you know, my kids are starting to remind me that I'm a half a century old now. Is it?
All the cops.
No, but I was sure was encouraged when we drove out there today. There was a cock pheasant just right up there in that.
They always show up when you're having like a group there.
Where, what do you think would be a good building?
Every time you think about it, it's always that long time.
Came along.
You have to make 6%, or you have to. So right away, you get a 6%.
That wasn't funny. He was
That's a real.
Well, you don't catch it. After the, after the sale the other day, I went home, maybe about 6
He's offered a job in Oklahoma.
might be interested in that.
Coming down there. in June.
And I remember 2 years ago when I met him out there, he said,
I shouldn't have thought.
Live at his place, and that way only one of us would have to move. But it's big. Yeah, it's like a full-size house, and the garage, it's a duplex, but it's only the garages are attached.
It's got rooms. And they're buying this.
Oh, really? You know, it's like out of your town, so we're hoping. And it's reasonable. It's got a 2-car garage.
Oh, really?
And I'm just, I think it would be heaven to have a 2-car garage.
he's like, you know, the other? I called this young man up. And
Well, after all the hail we had, my car last year and this year, it's not real bad, but so often I get a few more little hail.
Yeah, it seems that area down there. So many.
Yes, if you had hail up here.
Yeah. We didn't have any damage to cars. I don't know any crops.
Well,
Probably no crops out of the wheat.
oh, that was a week.
And we missed it. There was hail all over the and south.
Yeah, but we had it during the day that one.
Tim, would you like to?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like sleep.
How do you know I didn't like pineapple?
Steve, you really? You really? I love that. No, later make that 2 car. 16 hemos coming up. And check, please. No check. Only cash.
Hey, he bought that. He bought that. Probably the most sought after him in the whole sale. That dog, the black star daughter.
Thank you, Ken. You've been trained well. Your mother or your wife or both.
I read a book.
He read a book. Congratulations.
Well, we gotta know what we're gonna do with it.
Preacher.
They're giving me grief because they used to always say.
Do we have to tip you?
She has, I guess, 3 years. Well, she just graduated. How's Dallas? How's Texas recovering?
I've got several people proofreading that for you.
Yeah, you didn't have to bring that one. I always thought about it. That's so funny.
Tim, have you got a fax? No, I'm still in the darkies. You got access to that? I'm gonna use that.
What is it we're talking about?
You want to actually copy his resume? And when I'm proofreading, I get like people out.
You can be sure it's all serious.
I knew he was an amazing young man, but I didn't realize that.
Did you recognize his name at the bottom of the page? Could you identify the person with the resume?
Hey, waiter. I guess that wasn't that.
Wasn't like that one guy.
It would take 20
Never forget the one they told me. Father, son, dad, or our
cleaned up.
He came home from college, started
She made
came home
full
from
table
college
coffee,
and he
only
had
one.
bad grades.
There you go.
Sweet, that's
Yeah.
They were real bad grades.
Dad, we gotta take that for my grandpa copy.
Well, they do?
I'll make him out.
You got it on a...
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I guess it was, Jason Lahr took it off, it has the words already off on the computer.
Dad, remember we took about 6 copies home?
We were at something.
No, we did.
Yes, Dad.
Just say yes to.
We didn't take, I know, but we didn't take them to Dallas, remember? They're at home, so.
You know that song.
I can find them.
I know.
I can find them.
I'll come back.
Hey,
Yeah, I'll come back.
just come out by there afterward and I can find them. About 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I always, the place for everything, and everything is the place, that's my mom.
It's in a special place.
He has all these old Robson sayings.
That's right, but don't call me, I'll call you.
Yeah.
Check's in the mail.
Actually, I know exactly where those are. But we
Actually,
did
he
forget-
wouldn't have to do that. I think I have a copy that he could make a copy of, don't I? I have a copy of Keith singing, I'm my own grandpa.
You mean you have it on tape?
Well, yeah.
Are we talking-
You
This is
take-
written out. This is the words.
Oh,
It's written out.
I have Keith singing the
She
song.
has.
I'd like to hear that.
Well, yeah.
I'd love to
Well,
hear
maybe we
that.
could even get him.
Dad, for some entertainment tonight.
You got a piano?
I know the song.
CD released
Mary
in
Lou
July.
can play, all right.
All right.
Then we'll have it on videotape.
We'll have
Hey, that'd be
I
great.
think you ought to do that for your brother.
He's trying to remember the words.
Well, let's,
See if his eyes glazed over.
let's have the design, the program first, before we do the ad lib. I have a feeling with the pulpit up there, everything, we're probably gonna have a sermon or something.
With as many preachers as there are already.
Hey, Grant,
How many times will you pass the hat if you have that?
We'll lock the doors.
1 for each.
Pass the hat, we get enough.
remember those 3 greatest lies I told you about, Grant? First one was, I'll respect you in the morning. The second one was, the check's in the mail. And the third one was, hi, I'm from the IRS and I'm here to help you.
I wake up with a full sweater on. Here to help you.
Here to help you.
Help you.
I think that's a better version than mine.
Checks the mail. What's the first one? What was the first one?
I'll respect you in the morning.
I heard one of the lines, I'll do it tomorrow.
Just practicing there. Want to thank everyone for coming out to this dinner, and Kevin and I are going to go and rehearse a couple things briefly, and so we just want you to continue visiting.
We are?
That's all I was going to say. Okay, Kevin? Well, go ahead and visit.
So are we supposed to watch TV or something?
Are we supposed to watch television?
Don't watch the screen. Laurel.
Somebody's supposed to come on. Oh, my goodness. Did you? They just do stupid stuff like that.
Gonna do it again.
I have everything except my glass.
What day next week? It's good. Oh, what are we going to do? Like that or I have time. I'm gonna have to call you. Okay. So I got next week all set up. That's what I should.
Okay. Anytime.
I'm thinking
Thursday night.
Oh, I was gonna say. I'm thinking maybe Thursday.
During the day.
Work during the day.
I'm the fat guy.
Not true.
Told me I couldn't come unless I did this. So.
Don't know what we're supposed to say, do you, Ollie?
Hello there, Stanley.
I usually bring a script, but today I've done something very different. Written everything on these little cards. These little cards have all the information on them. And I've learned I can't forget anything if I write them on these cards. Carry them in my pocket here like this. Now these cards... These cards have everything I need to know for the day. And it's in alphabetical order. Now, I have these cards, and these cards are, everything is by the hour, in order. So I have it by the hour, and alphabetical index. So I shouldn't forget anything. Except I haven't written anything on them. Oh well. Here, Ollie, have my copy. Here.
My, this isn't the script you gave me earlier.
No, you're here.
My, 40 years is an awful long time.
Yes, it is. Didn't Moses spend 40 years in Egypt?
Yes, and then he spent 40 years in a wilderness suburb called Midian, where he found his wife called Zipporah.
Then he spent 40 years with the children of Israel. About 1 million of them.
That's a lot of kids. Was it a daycare?
Actually, it was day and night.
Noah spent 40 days and 40 nights in a floating zoo.
Yes, and Joash, the son of Ahaziah, served as king of Israel in Jerusalem for 40 years.
Who?
You know, 2 Chronicles chapter 24. Never mind.
I heard about a couple that were married for 40 years and they lived in Abilene, Kansas.
Isn't that 40 miles from Junction City?
Ken was born on a dairy farm 40 minutes by horse, south of Abilene.
I hear the young lady was an aspiring nurse from Canonsburg, which is 40 minutes outside of Pittsburgh.
Where did they meet?
I think they met at Austin Gospel Hall, 40 minutes west of Chicago.
Did they pursue their careers in radio and nursing?
Well, sort of. He took a trip to the Philippines and proposed by mail.
You mean he didn't have the nerve to propose in person?
Well, he thought 7,000 miles. Okay. No, you're supposed to say.
Then she took a slow boat to China. I mean the Philippines.
Did they have a large family, Ollie?
No, only 6. Becky married a Canadian and lives in a foreign country, Canada, in South Porcupine, which is 40 miles from North Bay. That's 40 miles from North Bay. Karen lives in a foreign country too, the Philippines, 40 days by boat, if the wind is blowing southwesterly.
I hear Kevin lives in Dallas with his wife Cheryl. Stan lives in Oklahoma with Fiona. And Gordy lives in Manhattan
Ah, New York? If he can make it there, he can make it anywhere.
No, Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas. It's 40 miles east of Abilene.
Let's watch the film we made. Is the projector ready? Is it about
No,
40
no,
minutes?
no. We forgot someone. Who did we forget? That was only 5. Oh, Douglas.
Douglas, Kent, Engel?
And Douglas is only 40 minutes away from getting in trouble.
That's right.
Thank you. Now, my friend from Texas has a song he would like to sing.
I was railroaded into all of this, I just want you to know. Would you take the baby for a moment, please?
Hey, Debbie. Debbie.
Mary Lou, Mary Lou, cross my heart, I love you. All the bells in the steeple are ringing for you, and all of the people are planning pretty presents just for you. Mary Lou, won't you give your promise true? Friends, that's the right thing? Friends 4 miles around are waiting to start their celebrating. When you say I do, Mary Lou.
Now I'd like to call Keith to rise, and I believe Keith has something to say. I hope.
Actually, the song that was just sung is the title of this poem, really, almost. Mary Lou, cross my heart, I love you. These words were sung, or said, we're sure. With a start like that, it had to endure. The marriage took place far across the sea. Some results will wait for eternity. Of one thing we're sure, and 6 kids should prove, our Father on high had a hand in this move. Becky came first, that sweet little tyke. I sure hope Ken gave her a ride on that red motorbike. Karen soon followed, but who could foretell she would someday go back, the gospel to tell. Kevin came on gangbuster style, a pen in each hand, but down deep a smile. Stan made the scene. He took a look. First thing they knew, he was selling a book. Now Gordon, that boy will surely go far. If a wife comes his way while he's shining a car. Belatedly, Doug blew his horn in the band. 'Twas the last trump for sure. Now there's peace in the land. They think they're finished, retired, and all through, but I'll bet the Lord has some more work to do.
Now, I'd like to open the floor to anyone that has something impromptu prepared.
Can you spell that?
And don't everyone jump to your feet at the same time. Actually, we asked Bob if he might tell a little bit about that first trip to Chicago. Or the second trip.
Well, first trip, second trip. Really, Ken probably remembers more of the details of the trip when we went. And I was trying to even remember the year. Was it 41 when you...
It would have been 42.
42. Yeah, I guess you were right.
42.
Listen while I am.
But you went back there, you went back for the finals of the oratory. Yeah,
LaSalle Hotel.
LaSalle Hotel.
We stayed in LaSalle till it got too expensive.
We stayed there and then we picked up our luggage.
Found another hotel.
Well, the LaSalle was paid for.
Yeah, that was
We
paid.
didn't-
No, we didn't pay
afford-
that
We
one.
couldn't even afford it.
No, that's right.
But I was telling Stan earlier that you really did a fine job as tour director. You had everything lined out, not only the responsibility of your oratory contest, but you fixed our itinerary out.
Look, you could travel, I don't think you traveled around Chicago like we did. We traveled at night on those streetcars and stuff. Yeah, you couldn't do what we
It wouldn't be
did.
safe.
It wouldn't be safe at all what we did in 42.
How about when you sent me all over Chicago in the elevator?
Yeah.
You went up there then when you
I
went to school?
visited him when he was in, I was a senior in high school, and right after school or something. And he made sure I saw Chicago. I saw Brookfield Zoo,
Field Museum.
Field Museum, and all those
That's what I
places.
think.
And he went with me part of the time, but part of the time he just kind of said it was that way, and
Oh, he didn't go with you then?
not all the time.
Well, we went to Wrigley Field.
Went to Wrigley Field, saw the Cubs.
Yeah. Field Museum.
They've hardly won a pennant since.
How many contestants were in that contest?
Well, we in the state, actually, that was the regional. There were 12. And
Oh, that
this-
wasn't the final?
No, the final was at the American Royal in October.
At
Oh,
the MFA
okay.
contest.
So you
So there
advanced to American
there
Royal.
were 12 up there.
How old were you?
17. You'd been 15.
And
So
what was
you
the
won-
name
you
what was the
won
name of your paper?
Food our weapon. It was, during the war. And the Secretary of Agriculture had said, food will win the war and right to peace. Basically on that subject.
That's right, they had some blackouts up there when we were there, brownouts they called them, they turned all the lights off at night, fear of bombers, I guess.
Then we went down South Chicago and heard John R. Rice in a tent.
Yeah.
We just went
How
all
long
over
did
the
we get
place.
down there without getting lost?
I
See,
don't
there
know.
again, you
I
were
don't know. We
good
just
turn.
got on the streetcar. You could travel anywhere in Chicago for 8 cents.
Wow.
You'd get a transfer. You could ride elevated. It was unbelievable. And they had those streetcars and elevated trains. Yeah.
But most of them don't know that you shipped a wooden barrel cooler to, where was that, Georgia?
That was Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. He and Elon Engel had a demonstration. They went on a trip to Memphis, Tennessee, and they shipped this old, and for years around the farm, we had this old silver staved wooden barrel.
We don't have it anymore.
No, I think
It
we
got lost somewhere.
should have went to some museum.
Yeah. The barrel cooler.
Well, Ann remembers the second trip also, she didn't go the first trip, of
Yeah,
course, but
yeah.
this was later, this would have been,
This would have been in 50.
this would
That's the
yeah.
trip I remember. We went with
We met you.
Yeah,
All right, Ann remembers a lot, I don't remember
yeah.
too many of the things
Yeah.
you did. All right, Ann.
You took us around Chicago. This was my final time then.
So we drove you
I
and Mary
enrolled
around
at
and-
Moody when I was with you in 42. Then the war came and everything. And that was my final year. You folks came up and helped me bring my stuff
Yeah.
back. And we were dating. And we went to down by the lake, Lake Michigan, they had a fair down there, kind of a miniature, kind of a small
I
world.
saved postcards from, we were looking at them today.
The Olson rug.
Yes.
Oh, you
That's
remember
what
that? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I don't know why that sticks in my mind, but all these rugs we looked at.
And the new houses, remember?
So I never thought of it quite that way. You were with me my first time up, and that was really kind of the closing chapter of that time when you folks came up and got me. Yeah.
Who were the girls on that first trip?
Shan, do you have anything?
What color? Danny wants to know what color.
What
suit-
color
What
moon?
color is your suit?
What color
White.
White.
boat?
Both of you?
We were both in white. And everybody was dressed, the men were all dressed in white suits. I kind of wonder now, I probably, that was the way they did it then, but I didn't provide the white, I had my own white suit, but I think it probably was kind of costly on my best man. And you know, you couldn't go out and rent something like that. There was a serviceman was in it in Ken Brooks.
Lois?
Yes, I thought it was quite ingenious of Mabel. She sent their rings in a Montgomery Moore catalog, but nowadays that catalog would be probably more valuable than their rings.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought that was something.
Well, let Mary Lou tell about the engagement. She mailed the ring to Mary Lou. See, like I said, I didn't get up the courage to ask her here. So she had to send the rings to Mary Lou.
Well,
And
I knew
she engaged, you know, tell about getting.
Yeah, you know what a nurse's dorm is like. And then you get a notice in the mailbox, registered package at the front office of hospital. You know what hospital personnel are like to student nurses? I don't know if you know. They don't think too much of them, some of the personnel at the front of the hospital. So I went to the post office at the front there, and this elderly lady, like maybe she was 62, maybe. She said, she took my note, she looked at it, and she took her time, and I said, I think that's an important package. She went over and she checked the package and checked. I said, I think it's my engagement ring. And I think she about had a heart attack, because I had a feeling that's what it was, and so it was. So I went back to my room in the dorm, and I took it out of the package, and I put it on my finger. Then I went around to the different rooms. So, how's everyone today? It was kind of a different experience.
The ring, Mother had mailed it from here, from what's the jeweler?
Goodle.
Goodle. Yeah, I had already picked it out before I left for the Philippines, the number. It was Goodle.
Talking young man, wasn't it?
But you know that ring is down at the bank, is in a safety deposit box because the stone is so loose. Farmers. That was neat.
That's right. Mother did it.
What I remember best is nothing to do. I don't remember a lot of this, but when you came back with Becky and Karen and stayed at the house during that year that you were home on furlough, I remember that Karen was so outgoing, but Becky was a little more reticent to make friends, and she wouldn't have anything to do with me. But one day I just picked her up, and she started screaming, and I took her out to see the chickens, and from that day on, she was my friend.
The grandchildren here. Elizabeth reminds us of Becky. Becky's hair was light, and Julia reminds us of the little Karen because her hair was dark and she's
There's
a
a
little.
contrast.
Yeah. So we see, and their age is about the same difference.
I just remember being, well, I don't know if I was around yet or not, but I remember when you'd come back to visit, and I always loved it when my cousins came to visit because that meant I had, you know, somebody to play with a mile down the road, you know?
Right.
Sam, 53, any members?
Oh. Where do we begin, Gordon?
The year the milo didn't head out.
Tell them how you hoed the shelter belt.
Oh. Hoed, blistered.
As soon as we started this end, I started that end.
We meet in the middle about noon.
Then we couldn't get the trash started.
The belt kept breaking. Boy, those guys, you can't work you get out of $1 a day.
One of those trips that when you stayed with Grandpa and Grandma would probably suffice.
We're old enough, yeah.
Okay, any other statements? Okay, there are a few cards on the table, and you can open those up later, but we wanted to read just a few choice ones. We're not going to tell you who wrote them. We're going to let you try to guess. It's a game. It's a fun game. I have many fond memories of Mary Lou and Ken from the 40s and 50s. I believe I met Ken first when he and I attended the Austin Gospel Hall in Chicago. I can still visualize Ken's warm and thoughtful expression, as he always had a kind word and smile for me and became like an older brother to me. He then reminded me of the words of Paul, "And those things that ye have learned and received and seen in me do." His power of gentle love and high example were simply awesome to me. Another striking thing I remember about Ken that I never ever heard him speak an unkind or hurtful word about anyone all the time I knew him. I think before he and Mary Lou met, I saw Mary Lou's wonderful, buoyant smile and personality emerge. Even when I would sometimes call her early on a Saturday morning, requesting that she play the piano for one of my chalk talks at a youth meeting or engagement in another church. You know who it is?
Stan the man.
Stan Fleming.
Stan.
Yep. Her sense of humor was so contagious. Just watching her giggle and smile lifted my day. Sometimes she'd come right off duty at the hospital and go right to a piano engagement to play with us, never a complaint about the lack of rest. I still have a wooden sculptured hand that Ken and Mary Lou sent me from the Philippines. With all the labor and chores and ministry that they were engaged in, I still found time to think of an old friend. 1 Corinthians 1:4 and 5 says, "I thank my God always on your behalf, for the grace of God which is given you by Jesus Christ, that in everything you are enriched by him in all utterance and in all knowledge." Mary Lou and Ken and all your wonderful family, thank you for your love and example in the work of the Lord. Stan Fleming.
Yes. I want to say something. Stan Fleming is the artist for Steven Spielberg. He's done, what is the name of the Indiana Jones? All those things you see. And some of the drawings you see for all the major automotive companies. No, this is Stan Fleming. And he was one of the young people at our chapel in Chicago, and we were on the same gospel team. He did these beautiful chalk drawings. He's amazing. He lives in San Francisco. His first wife passed away of cancer. He had 3 children there. He has a new wife and 3 more children. He's about 66. Stan Fleming.
We have not heard from him for
So that was a
ages.
surprise for you, wasn't it?
That is. Oh, that's wonderful.
Dear Ken and Mary Lou, sincere congratulations on your 40th wedding anniversary. As your family and friends gather around you to share this happy occasion, may you be refreshed by memories of God's gracious dealings in the past and encouraged to press on towards the high mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. I thank the Lord for the privilege of having crossed your path in Chicago, Philippines, Abilene, and at conferences in various places. You've been a challenge and inspiration to many, and your reward will be great in that coming day. Sincerely in Christ,
Bill McDonald.
William McDonald.
Oh,
Okay. Going back over many years, I remember your mother coming to the Austin Gospel, this was written to me, Austin Gospel Hall when she was training at West Suburban Hospital to become a nurse. She would always come in with a group of girls, always also studying to become nurses. Then we had 3 young men, Ken Engel, Chuck Christensen, and Harold Shaw, who also came to our services from Moody Bible Institute. As time went on, each young man found a young lady to sit with. And Ken's special nurse was Mary Lou. I remember being with him on Sundays. The thing I remember most was your dad working with the young boys in the Philippines. I think they were called the Boys Brigade. Now, to a hint, her parents-in-law had a shower for you with Winnie Christensen.
yeah. Shirley?
Shirley Bindler.
Shirley Benton.
Pretty good. And I won't read this whole one, but I'll read part of it. This is funny. To me. Dear Ken and Mary, happy anniversary to you. Can't believe how many years have passed since we first met you. You were still single at that time. We were living in John Duff's apartment building on South Boulevard in Oak Park. And the missionary apartment, they already know, he maintained was right across from our apartment. So, of course, we knew who stayed there off and on. Ken, you were there at one time. I remember you trotting down to the basement to do your laundry. And thinking at the time, what a catch he would be for some nice young gal. And hoping it would be someone from our Austin, now Woodside Assembly. Mary Lou, you were in nurses training at West Suburban Hospital when we first knew you. I remember you coming over, and I believe you babysat for us too. We had some great student nurses in those days. One time we were discussing how to meet Christian fellows, and you made the comment rather disgustedly that there just weren't any at all around our area. Christian fellows. It wasn't too long after that that you met Ken. What a good match you turned out to be. We've enjoyed knowing you over the years and hearing of your work for the Lord in the Philippine Islands, especially watching your kids grow. Much love and our Lord's continued blessing on you.
Clarkson. Hamilton. Christensen.
Ginger
Oh, Ginger Wilshire.
Welshire.
Oh, that is.
And that is the end of the
Oh,
reading.
that's wonderful.
Now we have a short videotape, and you need to watch it closely because if you don't, you'll miss it. Where's that? Dennis said there's one more letter I should read. The thing I remember most was that it was very hot. And on the platform of San Juan Gospel Chapel, that's in the Philippines. In those days, there were very little crossbreeds. In addition to the heat that day, there were 2 candelabra, one on either side of the platform, which added to the heat. It had been suggested we wear barang Tagalogs. That's kind of a loose-fitting shirt. You know, it's very cool in the Philippines. It was good, but Mary Lou insisted we had to wear white suits. It was good we did not end up as grease balls. Poor Mr. Bancroft, I think, felt it more than the rest, as he was kind of in a corner with no breeze at all. After the wedding, we were in our apartment, which Ken and Mary Lou later occupied when we moved upstairs. Mr. Bancroft, Ken, Mary Lou, and I were listening to a recording of the wedding. It went something like this. Ken, will you take Mary Lou to be your lawful wedded wife? And before Ken could answer, there was the sound of the bark of dogs next door, as if answering the question. We had a lot of dogs in the neighborhood, and we still do today. Mr. Bancroft offered to redo the ceremony. But Ken said that was the way it happened, and he'd like to just keep it that way. Then they talked about the bakery, the fruit cake, and how they had a sit-down meal. Well, they had a reception, I guess, instead of a sit-down meal. Do you have any ideas on that?
Yeah, Ken Brooks.
Ken Brooks. And then we'll watch the video.
Ken Brooks was our best man. And the Mr. Bancroft he's talking about was the pastor that married us. And we did have these candles on either side, and we roasted him. It was hot.
I'm going to turn that on. Is it possible? Or? I got a little running commentary.
No.
This is not the video.
I think we need the lights.
That's what a voice is like.
We have to have the tape in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it plugged in, Stan?
The Isuzu Trooper, practically amazing.
Is it on channel 3?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
channel
Is it?
3.
Yeah, it is.
It's on channel 5.
Well, no.
Stan,
TV's on.
there you go. You want to rewind it?
Lights.
was in the wedding.
That's the chapel, isn't it?
Can you hear it?
Yes.
Turn it up, Stan, we can't hear it.
That's Santa Claus.
This is the chapel. As they walked in.
This was a wooden building that we were in. This is the building that's there now. We have never seen this building. Exactly like this.
It's the same dog.
Same dog.
There's the children, grandchildren.
I don't know how they put a dog in a barking.
Well, they're still there.
They threw me right outside the fence.
Got a soundtrack.
Sorry, they're gonna go inside now.
They had a dog farm next door.
This is that looks pretty good.
That's right.
And we had roosters too.
In the church?
They were on the tape too.
Oh.
That's a little interference.
That's Rudy.
It's really hard to believe, Ken, now that you're celebrating your 40th wedding anniversary because, well, we are having our 23rd. And we didn't think that our ages were that far apart. Well, I guess looks can be deceiving. The reason why it's so hard to believe that you're on your 40th wedding anniversary is because your youngest is so young. This is not to imply that your eldest is so old, but anyway, it only goes to show how fast time has gone. And we're still waiting for the time when you can come over and visit the Philippines and see all the places working in and in a fellowship with us. In fact, this coming Saturday we're having our medical mission at Carlos place in South Carolina, and that will certainly bring back memories again during those times when I used to go with Ken to Carolina. I think it was on Saturdays or Wednesdays when we would do visitation, visiting brigade families, and then proceeding to the prayer meeting times. And we will be looking forward to seeing the place again on Saturday for our medical.
That was Rudy. That was the original brigade boy. He was just a boy of about 12 when we